Welcome once again to the Respect and Pray Show. I'm your host, Miguel Mike Medina, Triple M. On this episode, we have a special guest. She's an actress, a business owner. She has written a children's book as well, which is on Amazon. You should purchase it. She's won awards. She's doing a lot of great things. And if you follow her on social media, you will absolutely want to follow her because she's just relentlessly every single day putting out content, working on stuff, promoting her stuff. And I met her back in 2021 when we did a short film called Lunchtime. It was our first time working together, and I would love to work with her again in the future. She's a cool human being, but check out this interview because it's a good one, so don't miss it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to present to you Marisa Kristine Hernandez. Marisa, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Did you always wanted to be a business owner?
You know, I didn't because I always saw myself working for someone else. You know, I grew up in a big Hispanic culture and I grew up in Texas. So I grew up learning, you work for someone and, you work the traditional 9 to 5. And as I started getting older, I was a personal assistant back in San Antonio, Texas, is where I'm from. And I liked that they were their own bosses. So I saw a big change and a big shift when I was 18, 19, 20, when I was still living in Texas. And I saw their day-to-day life and I just loved it. And when I moved to New York, um, you have your survival job, and then you have your acting stuff and you have this going on. And I told myself, I don't want to work for someone else. I want to be my own boss. And I loved that. And I think if I didn't have that mentorship when I was 18, 19, 20 at the time, and, really saw what it was like, I don't think that I would have wanted to do it. And, I think everyone kind of goes on their own path. And mine was to be a business owner. And since I've been doing that, is it hard? Yes, one, but I love it. I love everything about it. I love the obstacles. I love um, kind of going through it. It's ups and downs all the time. It's kind of like not an everyday workspace. It's something completely different every single time. So it kind of changes the way I see life because I can go work at a coffee shop. I can work from home. I can go travel and, do it on the computer. So I think, and I love that. I love that I can do that. So I am so happy that I ended up changing my career path and doing and working as a business owner.
Tell us some of these businesses that you're currently working on.
Yeah. So right now, I'm an actress and a producer. So I do produce my own projects, and sometimes people will hire me on to become a producer. So that's one. Two, I promote products online and sell products genuinely on what I like. So through social media, especially that this is like a big thing right now, I genuinely promote the products that I use and I get compensated for it. And since then, I've been, really liking that. And I think that's also kind of getting me out of my comfort zone using social media um, and using reels as a tool to kind of promote my business. Because before, 5 years ago, that wasn't a thing. And life right now and using social media is changing. And that's kind of how people are making their money nowadays. So I really genuinely like that. And I also rather promote products that I love than promote products that I don't and I'm lying. So I still like to be truthful to my audience on products that I genuinely love. And it's not just like free products that I'm getting or getting compensated for it just to promote it. I really think thoroughly in the products that I get to promote that. So there's not all like for example, shampoo products, I, promote the specific shampoo that I really love. I'm not going to just promote a random product just because I'm getting compensated for it, for the post. I genuinely do work with the brands that I work with, and I think that's amazing. So that's kind of how I do both, and it's kind of helped me also with my acting because I can take it on the go as well, especially when I'm on set. For instance, I did a commercial and I was in hair and makeup, and I was able to get 3 sales in within that time. And it was pretty cool because it's like, you know, you're making money and then you're making money. So, I always say you need to have multiple streams of income. And I think having that is a really good thing. So if you're not using social media as a platform to promote, you know, products that you love or try to use it to your advantage, I think you should really look into that business.
Awesome. That's awesome. You also wrote a book called Grandpa's Our Hero, and it seems like it targets more towards young kids, and it's 28 pages. What was the inspiration behind that?
Yeah, so it's a children's book. I actually wrote it when my grandpa passed away. It wasn't intentionally to be put out there. My dear friend Angela, um, she is a publisher and an editor for her own company for home publish. She has her own publishing company, and I couldn't get past my grandpa's death at the time, and this was back in June in 2020, and I started journaling it, and I wrote so many pages because one, I'm here, it's only me here in New York. My whole family's down in Texas. So for me, the grieving process was a little different because when I went to go down to the funeral, everybody was there. Everybody kind of had a week to be together, and I was only there for the funeral. So when I came back, it was still a process for me. Um, and at the time, my boyfriend told me, write down everything that you're feeling. And as an actor, you kind of do that, but I just couldn't put it into words. I couldn't put my grief out on paper because it just was so hard. And I started doing it little by little, and it kind of turned into like this whole notebook. And I was talking to my dear friend Angela, who's the publisher, and I was telling her about it and telling her about my grieving. And she's like, "Is it okay if I take can you tell me a little bit about like what you wrote down?" So I started kind of giving her, and I showed it to her, and she was, "I think this would be a really good children's book." And I was like, "Nah, no way. Like, there's no way. I'm not an author. There's, no, like, absolutely not." And she was like, "I think this can be an inspiration to young kids, grieving their loved ones and kind of just having like that memory kept alive about about your grandparents, about your grandpa, about your grandma. So we started working on it, and she was the one that told me to publish the book and let's work on it. And was it a process? Yes, it was. It was a long process, but I loved every inch of it. And I'm glad she got me to where it got me and to get me to publish it because I think I don't I don't think I hope I don't think I would have put it out there, but also I'm just so happy that she made me do it because I hope I'm making an impact for kids in that aspect. And not only just for kids, but if someone is reading it to their children, they can get something out of it too while they're reading it to their kids. So I really hope that in that scenario, I'm making an impact.
It definitely will make an impact, and I'm sure that your grandfather is proud of you. I can resonate because I was very close with my grandmother, whom I lost on New Year's Day back in 2014. But I never made a project about her so far, but I did name my production company after her. So I could definitely relate in terms of we have someone that's very impactful in our lives, and we want to pay a tribute to them and keep the memory alive as best way as we possibly could. So, but ever since I discovered that you wrote this book, I said I need to purchase this and give this a read. But yeah, definitely because I can relate. Having that grandkid love is one of a kind.
Yes, I was really close to him. I grew up with him. He would pick me up from school. I mean, him and my grandma babysat me, till I was an eighth grader because I couldn't stay home by myself. Um, and I think having those memories and, you know, I feel bad for people that lose their grandparents or they don't have a good relationship or they don't have a relationship at all because you're not going to get those memories back. And I think it is really important to have that because it's 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 a different type of love. It's a different from like a parent, from a sister, from a friend, from a sibling. Um, it's just it's not even like a second mom or a second dad. It's just a different type of love that I can't even put into words. Even now with my grandma who I have, and then I still have my on my mom's side, my grandparents, and even that's a different type of love. But me and my grandpa, we were really close. And I think if you are listening to this and you don't have that relationship, I think, take the time and just call just to see how they're doing. I think it's going to mean more to them than it is to you because it's just, I, I, it's just, I can't even explain it. It's just that different type of love that you're going to cherish and you're going to think back when you're older and you're going to have kids and you're going to be like, man, like, I'm so happy I got to have that with my grandparents. Um, but yeah,
Favorite food,
I pizza.
favorite late night snack,
I like oranges. I eat oranges at night.
favorite place to travel,
Ooh, I really want to go to Paris.
go to the movie theaters or watch it on streaming services at home.
Oh, for sure, go to a movie theater.
Loyalty or respect.
Loyalty.
All right, good, good, good. So, I noticed that you recently wrote a project called "Tis the Season."
Yeah.
My $1 million question to you is, when are we gonna see the movie and tell us what is it about?
Yeah. So I actually wrote this last year. I wasn't able to shoot it because due to like the due to a I think it was a lot colder last year and I actually went away for a little bit and I was kind of going through a lot. So I didn't want to publish it last year. And then this year, Melody Baja, who is my producer on the film, who also direct the short and who also directed it, I brought her along and I brought her production company on. And I said, you know what, I really want to do it this year. We have a crunch time because in New York, they only do the holidays from I think December 7th to January 2nd or the 3rd. So I was like, we have to do it around this time. I know there's going to be a lot of tourists, but I really want to get this done. This was actually, fun fact, was going to be a feature film that I really wanted to make, but I didn't think that we were going to have the time due to it being only a month here in New York that only has the holidays, and I didn't have a big budget, obviously, to have all the Christmas stuff out on exterior shots or outside shots. Um, so I brought her along, and we ended up shooting it all in one day. And it's what's it about is Jade, who is the lead, um, comes home, is gonna, she thinks she's gonna get proposed to by her to her boyfriend for like 4 years, and she comes home and he ends up breaking up with her, and she ends up kind of just going on through Christmas Eve dealing with it, and she meets this guy named Dario, and they kind of spend Christmas Eve or they do spend Christmas Eve together, and it's just one of those nights that it's going to be so unforgettable that she's never going to forget. And I based it off of, fun fact, I love Christmas movies, and I love the whole Hallmark, the Netflix, the Amazon Prime, all those holiday movies. I love it. And I wanted it to be just as cheesy, just as romantic, so funny. I kind of wanted to have twists and turns. And um, fun fact is that I had one of the actors, or I didn't even know, one of the actors had actually read the script in a class, and random people said that they loved the short. And this was actually something, also a first of mine, that this was I wrote it and I worked on it by myself. So I feel really accomplished and on just writing it, because I have a very hard time writing stuff. And I think you are going to see it very soon. It is in post-production, so it is getting edited right now. I have my dear friend, Tim, who wrote a song specifically for the short. So it will be coming out in that. So I'm super excited. And I'm also honored to have everyone that helped on this project want to be a part of it, because they genuinely felt, that they wanted to, and they felt that this was a good opportunity for them. And I love that they wanted to help out in so many ways. So we had PAs on set, we had the sound guy, the DP, and my director, and it was just great. But the whole short, just so if you're aware, when you watch it, it's raining the whole entire time because the weather was not cooperating with us. So we had to adjust because my director was actually going back home to California for the holidays, and it was raining, so we had to use umbrellas. It was a whole thing, but we ended up shooting it. But at the end, and this was like kind of the big finale, which is where we go to Rockefeller, and it stopped raining on that one beautiful scene. And it was just magical, like seeing it on camera, seeing the lights, seeing the tree. It was so beautiful. And so it just kind of it looks so good. So it looks like that New York, gloomy, rainy, typical New York life, like nothing is just going right. How it is in New York. And I think if you watch this short, you're gonna genuinely fall in love with the holidays all over again, and it's just gonna be a comedic thing. And I think anyone that watches it can find humor, can find love in it, can find the passion in it, and is just genuinely gonna enjoy it. So you will see it soon because we're almost done. The editor is almost done, I think in a week. So hopefully after that, not too long after.
Nice, nice. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I love Christmas movies. That's something that from November all the way to January, I make it like a 3-month kind of thing. But I love it, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
So,
oh,
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't like Halloween. I
Me
hate
neither.
Halloween. I will start watching Christmas movies in September, and because I just love them. It's just a passion of mine.
That's a smart idea. Smart idea. So where can we follow you on social media and all of your products, websites, all that? Feel free to mention all that.
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram. So it's Marisa, Marisa, one S, underscore Kristine with a K, Kristine. There I have a link tree so you can do the about me. It has my website, which is my acting website, where you can also purchase products. Within that website, it's marisakristine.com. You can go there, you can see my media pages, my autobiography, more information on all of that. if you have any questions, you could easily reach out to me. My TikTok is the same, Marisa_Kristine. Um, and that's about it. Facebook, Marisa Kristine Hernandez. I don't have a YouTube yet, but hopefully maybe in the 2023, that can be something that I add on.
Marissa, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview with me.
Thank you.
Much respect and praise to you on your career and everything you're working on. I'm rooting for you, and just keep going. I see what you're doing. I'm always keep track of all the stuff that you're putting on your reels, on IG posts and stories. So just keep going, because I know that businesses, some succeed, some fail, but the reality is that it takes years to see some huge results. So just keep it going and stay inspired, stay motivated. Sky's the limit.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for having me on today. I really enjoyed it.
Well, that does it for this episode of the Respect and Pray Show. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, right? Don't forget. And my message is always simple, guys. Have mutual respect, mutual love, and mutual admiration. So stay tuned for the next episode.